Okay, I have a mulch order on my way, so I'm going to do this really fast. So, this is my pulled pork. I'm canning it up for today. This is my all-American canner. So, what I'm going to just tell you what I'm putting in. This is 1.5 cups of onions. These are out of my freezer. These are my last year's onions, and I have 3 tablespoons of garlic. So, those are all going in. I'm putting in 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. Ooh, those onions are fragrant. 1/2 cup of brown sugar packed. This is 1.5 cups of ketchup. This is my homemade ketchup that I make every year. I'd like to use up this year's batch or last year's batch so that I can make some new for this year. And this is just ketchup out of the ball canning jar. No big deal. So, put that in. Then we're going to put in 2 tablespoons of honey. This recipe calls for honey. I'm using maple syrup. And I also need 2 tablespoons of brown spicy mustard, which it's a new bottle. Forgot to take the top off, the seal. So there we go. This is almost the same seasoning as I do for my baked beans. So there's 1 and 2. And I also need 1/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. And I buy my apple cider vinegar for canning. I make apple cider vinegar for salads and things like that, but for canning, this has a 5% acidity. Make sure that you check your labels because not all apple cider vinegar is created equally. Okay, you're going to stir all this up, bring it to a boil. Then I'm going to add my meat. So let's get this cooking. Oh, my mulch is here. Okay, 10 yards of mulch in the driveway, tarped just as it was starting to rain. So I have everything in here and I'm heating it up. And as soon as this comes to like get bubbly, you're not going to simmer it or anything. You're just going to let it get hot. In my canner, I have 2 inches of water with a little bit of white vinegar so you don't get cloudy jars. And that is heating up now. So this is, okay, so I got this on sale. It was 6 pounds, it's 5.5 pounds for $11. So that is, I think this is a good dollar value. So now I'm going to add my meat and get it all coated. This is the fastest canning recipe I think I make. But make sure everything's coated and bring it to a simmer. You're going to let it get to a bubbling boil. And how long do I cook that for? I can't remember. 5 minutes. So I'm going to bring it to a boil, let it simmer 5 minutes, and then I'm going to load it in my jars. So as soon as this gets going, we'll be back and I'll load it in my jars. Okay, that is simmering. So I am going to set my timer for 5 minutes. My timer just went off. I lowered I just want to keep it hot, and I'm ready to fill my jars. 1 inch of headspace. Uber importante. So this is my gauge, and I'm going to take it all the way to there. I have my lids and rings sitting in hot water. Have my canner ready to go. have my magnetic lid picker upper, and a chopstick to get all the air bubbles out. And I also have vinegar, white vinegar, and a paper towel to wipe the rims. And because I'm using meat, there's sometimes fat in the meat, and in case it gets on the rim, it would stop the seal. So I want that rim as clean as possible. I have more jars on standby in case I fill all of these. This canner takes 9 pints on the bottom. That canner has to be filled. So if I only get 6 or 7 jars, then I will fill 2 jars with boiling hot water just so the canner's full. That's important. Okay, this is my last jar, and you can see I'm a little bit below my 1 inch. So I have a little bit of open tomato juice, and I'm just going to top it to 1 inch with tomato juice and then debubble it. And I'm going to go warm this up in the microwave. So the reason I did that is you don't want to add, this was in the basement, so I don't want to add cold to hot because that's how you lose jars. So we are just going to finger tight. That's all you're tightening these. And my bottom is, that gave me 7 jars. I could really cram them in, but this way I get circulation and the canner is filled. So you can see there's nice even spacing around everything. So this will get processed at an hour and 15 minutes for pints, and it's at 10 pounds pressure. Okay, it has just started exhausting. I'm steaming, and you have to let your pressure canner exhaust, whether it's this kind, a Presto, whatever you have, 10 minutes. So once you start to get some steam out of your vent, set your timer for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, we're going to put our weight on at 10 pounds pressure. That'll go there. The gauge will go to 10 pounds, and this will gently rock. And I'll put a video up of that. Okay, it has been 10 minutes, and I am going to put my weight on at 10 pounds pressure. And then we're going to let the gauge go up to 10 pounds, 11 pounds. I think it's 11 pounds on this gauge. So, but when this rocks, and then we'll set the timer for an hour and 15 minutes. All right, we have reached temperature. So I am going to, that's like going a little bit too hard. So my dial right now, I know it's hard to see, but I am at 11 pounds pressure, and that is where I'm going to stay. So I will keep it here for an hour and 15 minutes, and then I'll shut everything down.